The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 637 of a daily deck review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is this 1863 Reproduction deck of playing cards. So, without further ado, take a look and see what we'll get. So, we can see it's in a standard glossy finish tuck box there. It's definitely more of a squared off tuck box here. It's just that kind of off-white kind of colorway. You got some United States kind of flag shield on the front. You got a little stamp kind of covering over the name there. And it says playing cards manufactured by Lawrence Cohen and Co. on there. And then on one side it says 1863 patent national poker deck. And a little character there. And then on the other side it kind of explains it a little bit. It says a reproduction of a Civil War playing card deck with full length single-ended court figures. Box features something of original wax paper. Then on the back, you got a little sneak peek of one of the court cards there. Then on the top, it says 1863 Patent National Poker Deck, U.S. Game Systems there, printed in Italy. And on the bottom here, you got a little barcode and some information. But now we'll open the cards here. Nothing on the inner tuck flaps. Take the cards out. On the inside of the tuck box is that matte white finish. Nothing too crazy there. Now that we take a look at the tuck box, time to take a look at the cards. And these cards are wrapped up, so I will have to just grab that little thing there, crack these open. And as you can notice, these cards, they are not rounded, so they are pointy edges, like the sharp, like 90-degree angled there, so they are a little bit sharp when you hold them. So you gotta be cautious of that. But here we have a mirrored back design there. And it's not a standard whiteboard, it's more of like a off-white kind of tan border there. And then you got the United States flag shields there. A little bit of like floral design there, a little star in the middle. Well, I guess I did say it was a mirrored, but it is a one-way back design with that little dot there in the middle, kind of, and the little arrows there in the middle, kind of making it a one-way, but it's a subtle kind of one-way design. There, but now for the cards here. Here we start with, I'm just gonna guess this little extra card here, where it has a spade there in the middle, so that little flower design, and then a little eagle at the top. There. It's the back sign. And then we got the court cards for the spades here, and they are that the single kind of direction there, but they look kind of hand drawn there, because they're from 1863, like the design is from 1863 there, but they still look pretty nice. Then you got the court cards here. There's no numbers on any of these, just the suits themselves, so it's a little bit hard to like play a game with, because you have to actually count and know the numbers there, but you can still see them. So they're pretty just standard there. It's just an older style look to them, but they're just pretty standard there. For the hearts as well, still no numbers. And we got the clubs, and they all have this kind of like older kind of dirtier, kind of like tannish kind of background to them. There. And they have this more kind of like papery, smooth finish to it. So it'll be interesting like to shuffle them up. And then we got these little cards here. I'll just try to hold them. And you can pause and read that if you want to. But now that we look at the cards, that were just pretty standard. Time to test the handling. And I'm going to say it now, these cards are going to hurt to shuffle just from those few little springs. These corners are definitely on the more pointy side. But they do spring pretty decently. Even though these corners are pointy. There's definitely on the slightly more stiffer side. Because it's a little bit awkward to like shuffle, or I mean spring. And they have a decent fan, I guess. Better than I expected. But they're definitely not super smooth, because they kind of like slightly stick together with like the style paper and finish they use, just because it's a little bit more shiny. And they probably have to be broken in a little bit and stuff like that. But these cards you wouldn't really be using to like shuffle and like play games with as much. More like a collector little item just because they're a reproduction style of an old style deck. But then we got the giant fans. That kind of works, but you get an idea of what it kind of looks like. But no matter, most decks wiffle shuffle, so there's definitely no issues there. And all decks can pack a cut as well. Unless there's like a different shape or different size, then they might not do everything as well. But for the most part, most poker decks can just pack a cut pretty nicely. And we have the 4 clubs trying to escape. And they definitely do dribble, but the corners, like I said, are pointy, so when you put your thumbs on the corners to dribble, it kind of hurts a little bit. So they definitely like kind of half work for the handling, like the shuffling and stuff, because you still pack a cut, and you can definitely still spring them and do everything, but not as easy. And the only thing that doesn't really work is like the fans, because they're kind of clumpy. But like I said, you're not gonna really like use these for like shuffling and stuff. It's mostly just to have like a older style looking deck from like 100 years ago or more. No, it's pretty. Yeah. So once again, here's that back design there, that old style back line, and the faces, which are just pretty much standard, but without numbers, just the suits and pips themselves. So I guess with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. This has been day 637 of a daily deck review, and this has been a reproduction of the 18 to 63 Patent National Poker Deck. And I'm the Canadian Collector, signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.